all the Puppy Linux and most of Linux has a utility called WMCTRL, Window Manager Control, and we can take a brief look inside of it. And we'll go ahead and maximize this. And then when we just take a look at it, you can see there is a help screen. There is a several options. We can take a look at L option. So let's go ahead and fire up L option and put it over here. So let me just make it bigger again. So WMCTRL, and then let's see what happens if we just enter L. So it gives you 3 lines, and 4 refers to the virtual screen. So although it's 5 as far as WMCTRL is concerned, it first is 0. Okay, so 4 as far as the WMCTRL is concerned, 4 refers to 5th virtual desktop, which is here. And right now it's telling us there is Genie, which is editor, is open in that window. And then there's also 2 terminals as seen here. This is considered 1 and this is 2. Okay. Similarly, let's take a look at the option D. So it's going to list the desktops, the virtual desktops. So as far as again, as far as WMCTRL is concerned, first desktop is 0 and goes to 4. Okay. So let's take a brief closer look at the S. S is a switch to specify desktop. So you give it a S and a number, it's going to go to the whichever. If 0 is here and 1 is here, for example. So we'll be using that a lot. The other options that are frequently used is the R. But let me try to further demonstrate. Given what we just learned, I want to show you this command. So this command states that window control, this command here, which is rocks, start the rocks in a virtual screen 2, which means as far as the WMCTRL is 2, but it's actually going to start on the 3rd. So we'll see how this how it works. We'll just keep an eye on here, and we'll just click. So it went from I gave the command from the 5th virtual desktop, and it went to the 3, and then it also opened up the rocks as was instructed. So that's pretty neat, and we can go back to 5th. So this is the command, but rather than typing that command in each time, it's much easier to have it in a little bit of a small script. And I want to just go through with you how I made this small script. So this small script, it states that we want the rocks to open the folder of etc in a virtual screen 0, which is actually over here. And then another step is we want a different application, a view node, which is a photo viewer, to open in another folder and place that in a 3rd virtual screen. So let me just show you how I created it. So so it's actually in a folder called My Applications under bin, and there is a test sh, which is the name of the file. But essentially what I did was to create a touch file, just a blank file first. We'll open that terminal here, applications and bin, and my first command was actually test sh, but I'll just go through with you how I created the file. So this command creates a blank file. Now the file that we want to create has to be executable. So to change the executable file is a chmod +x, and the name of the command is tsh here. So you can see the color changes. So essentially this is how I created this test sh. And when this is a blank file, so when you bring it over to Genie, that nothing shows up. But well, let me just cancel this first, delete it first. So when I dragged it over, and then I typed in this command. I will go ahead and type it under description. So I typed in this command, and essentially that's what it says, is to go ahead and place this in one rocks here, and then view nor and 3, and let's see how that works. Okay, so to go ahead and get that working, let's just go ahead and start the terminal command, and the file is called test.sh, and because it's in a folder under in a path, let me just, so we can go ahead and, because it's in a my application bin folder, that it's very easy to run the command from anywhere. So let's just go ahead and test it out. So test sh, let's see if the command works or not. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and give it OK. So you can see that on a first virtual screen, the desktop, the rocks with a etc folder it opens. So we'll go ahead and close that. And then similarly on a third desktop, as we instructed, view nor, which is a photo viewer, and I put a 2 file in there, so they're going back and forth. You can see that there are 2 files in there. So that works, that command works. Okay, so we'll go back to 5 virtual screen. So that small script works well, so we'll go ahead and get out of that. And rather than putting it in the well, let's just see, once I put this command in the bash file rc, so we can make it alias. So whenever I open up a terminal and give it a command of test, it's going to run that small script, and then it's going to close the terminal itself. And the other command that I use all the time is alias x, and that's, let me just demonstrate it for you. So after you make any changes in bash rc file, what you have to do is you have to refresh the bash rc by the command of source root dash bash rc. So now it's gonna follow, any recent alias or changes we make on the bash rc is gonna be reflected. So we'll go ahead and type in x, and it'll just come out of it. Okay, and then we're gonna test the So we open terminal, and this time rather than typing in test or sh, what we can do is just go ahead and type in test, and that should run the same command. Okay. You can see there's also slight delay in between opening 1 and opening 3, and let me just go back and then go to the 5. If I have to give it a little bit of a delay by sleep 1 second of sleep, because if I don't, it seems to just open both of them in a first screen. So by giving it a little delay, it places it in the third screen. So that's what the delay is caused by. Okay, so there's one option of just putting it in the a bash file, but much more convenient is to go ahead and put it as a part of a key binding. So we again go back to JWM personal file, and then under that I can place. So this command, this line states that whenever I push in the super key and X, it's going to execute test sh. So you add that line, and I also made a I also added another line is whenever I click super key along with the number, it goes to the different numbers. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So super and number puts me immediately to the other desktops. So that's already activated, but to activate any changes for you, what you have to do is go and then you restart JWM for you, because that is going to refresh any changes in this file. But if I do that, it's going to stop the screen recording, so I won't do that, but I've actually already done it. So what we can do now is test it. So super and X should again do the same as the bash file. So that's super and X. So you see that it opens follows the exact test .sh command. I just go back to 1, close, and go back to 5. Okay. We just learned how to place a certain application in a specific virtual desktop. Now this next bit of code is going to only allow one copy of a application run at any one time. So I have created a small another script, pale moon .sh, and I put it in the same folder as a root my applications /bin directory, because that's in the path. So the bit of code that you need is you want to give it a little bit of delay, and then send a window to desktop WMCTRL desktop 0, which is actually the first desktop, and then identifying application, in this case Pale Moon browser. So let's see what happens when we activate it. So actually there is a Pale Moon actually running on 1 already. So let's see if it makes another copy of Pale Moon run. It shouldn't if the code is correct. So we'll go ahead and fire up a terminal and then Pale Moon sh and then give it a minute, and it goes to the Pale Moon that's already open in that desktop, virtual desktop 1. So the information that I've just given you is actually from old Puppy Linux forum, where this particular person, Mochi Mopel, seems to be an expert in general Puppy Linux programming, and particularly in this case, he helped me out with this use of WMCTRL. So let's see what happens if I just close it, and then so there's no copy of the Pale Run running now. So let's just go ahead and fire up Pale Moon and then see what happens. So when there's no Pale Moon running, it just starts it on the desktop 1. But if there is already one running, then it'll just divert focus to the one that's running without starting another Pale Moon. You see that? So that's how you figure out how to run a application in a certain window without duplication. So, but I want to just demonstrate another point here. View new. So we'll start a picture application and then refer back here. Now, usually when you set this up, usually you can try here you have to make sure that it is correct, syntax is correct. Most of the programs like Genie and so on, all you need to do is just put a first letter capital, and usually it works. If it does not, then what you can do is just open up a program you're interested in making a script for, and then what you really need is just the command xprop WM all capital underline class, and then you activate it with enter, and the cursor is going to change. So what you do is just click on a application that you're interested in, and what you're interested in is that this column here, in this case view nor. So you just copy that and you go back to the so you would replace here view nor if you are interested in setting it up for just one single copy of view nor. I think that's it.